So you already know Twilight Struggle, and you've heard that there's a new game on the block. Here's your quick start guide to getting Twilight Struggle Red Sea Conflict in the Horn of Africa to the table here on Legendary Tactics. As I said in the introduction, this video is a quick how-to-play guide for Twilight Struggle Red Sea, Conflict in the Horn of Africa. It is assumed that you already know how to play the original game, and if you do, this video is intended to help you get up and running with Red Sea in just a few minutes, by simply going over everything that is new about this game compared to the original. The first thing that you'll notice is that the scale of the game has been considerably reduced. This game takes place in the vicinity of, surprise surprise, the Red Sea. In Twilight Struggle terms, it takes place in part of Africa and part of the Middle East. Notably, Kenya is a battleground country in this game, whereas it wasn't in the original. And if you look closely at Ethiopia, you will see a little half circle with a 3 in it. This doesn't affect gameplay unless the event card called the Derg is played, in which case the stability number of Ethiopia is increased to 3 for the rest of the game. And Twilight Struggle Red Sea is only 2 turns long, so people don't have to wait too long before final scoring. The first turn is considered to be a mid-war turn, and the second turn is considered to be a late-war turn, where a deck of late-war cards is shuffled into the draw pile at the end of turn 1. The biggest change to the game is the concept of a flashpoint country. There are 2 on the board, Ethiopia and Somalia, and this red lightning bolt symbol indicates that they are flashpoint nations. Flashpoint countries are similar but different from battleground countries. The main difference is that a coup in a flashpoint nation may or may not cause DEFCON to degrade. When a coup is conducted in either Ethiopia or Somalia, draw the top card of the draw deck. If it is a scoring card, or an event card worth 1 or 2 operations points, DEFCON is worsened 1 level and the card is discarded. This can most certainly degrade DEFCON to 1, ending the game in global thermonuclear war. And if the drawn card is an event card worth 3 or 4 operations points, DEFCON is not degraded and the drawn card is placed on the bottom of the draw deck, available to be shuffled in at a later point. So the long and the short of it is that you can coup a non-battleground flashpoint country, but there is some risk that it could affect DEFCON, which will play into your decision making. Also, don't forget the DEFCON starts at 4 and not 5 as in a normal game of Twilight Struggle. When DEFCON is at 3 or lower, there can be no coups or realignments in the Middle East region. Because Egypt is considered to be in both regions, this DEFCON restriction applies to it as well. Instead of the China card, we now have the Romanian Autonomy card. It is a 2-ops card with a bonus of 1 operations point if your opponent has more victory points than you do at the moment it is played. And whoever finishes the game holding the Romanian Autonomy card gets 1 victory point. Scoring is handled in the same way as the original game, but there is a new automatic win condition that you need to be aware of. When the Africa scoring card is played, if one player controls both flashpoint countries, Ethiopia and Somalia, and controls more African countries than their opponent, they win immediately. The other automatic victory happens at 10 victory points instead of 20 as in the original game. Finally, the last big change is an additional space called Strategic Sea Lanes. It is not considered to be in either region nor a country. It has a stability number of 4 and can be controlled by having at least 4 influence more than your opponent does in the space. There are no realignments or coups allowed, and you can only place influence there normally or by event, and there is no adjacency considerations. When a region is scored, leading an influence in the space will give that player an additional victory point, and controlling the strategic sea lanes will double the number of points you receive when you score a region. At the time of final scoring, simply score 2 victory points for control of the strategic sea lane space, and 1 victory point if you have more influence there than your opponent. And that's all you need to know to play Twilight Struggle Red Sea Conflict in the Horn of Africa. I hope this quick start guide helps you to get it to the table soon. Until then, get out there, get gaming, and be legendary.